Today we're going to be making a YouTube button for one of the fastest growing YouTubers, Matthew Beem.
Oh! Wow! This is insane!
But because he likes Coke so much, we're going to be making it only out of these Coke cans. Check it out. Before we get started, we have to decide what design we want to go with. There is the original YouTube play button that's just the play sign alone, which is pretty cool, or there's the latest versions that have the plaque with the play button sign. Since we decided we want this to look as close to a YouTube award as possible, we decided to go with the latest design with the plaque and the triangle inside of it. Alright, we've cut out the design on our laser Glowforge machine. So now we have the plaque in just wood that we're gonna now wrap around with the Coke cans. But I decided it would look really cool if this looks even more like the gold play button. So we're gonna be putting just the Coke portion behind the play button here, and everything else we're gonna wrap in this gold foil. And I think that's gonna look really cool. But I hope that this doesn't crinkle and look kind of cheesy versus how good a play button should look. So let's see how it turns out. But before we get started, we need to empty each of these Coke cans to be able to use the metal outside of them. So I'm not sure why I did that. I can't use this Coke can now that it's all crumpled up, so I gotta drink more of them, and hopefully I won't ruin them like I did this one. So I've just cut open one can, and this is already proving to be a lot more difficult than expected because of the way the Coke can is shaped. At the top it bevels inward, and that makes it really hard because you can't just flatten it out like this or else it will inherently crinkle. And there's already a lot of crinkle going on. I'm trying to reduce that as much as possible. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to cut slits into the top, and that'll let me flatten it a little bit more. But I got to be really careful because the more crinkled this is, I think the worse it's going to look. I'm really hoping this will come out good. Let's see. The slits are working out. Now I'm going to try and hammer it. I'm going to try and hammer it as flat as possible with this mallet. It's a really crappy mallet. I don't think it's going to work too well, but let's see.
Luckily, I'm able to salvage a lot of the Coke can from this cutting method. Now, I'm going to lay it across my template and see if I can fit enough pieces to fill in the spaces to make a cool design out of this. While I work on cutting all these Coke cans into small bits and pieces, let me tell you why I'm going through all this effort.
Matthew Beem is one of the fastest growing YouTubers out there. He has just recently hit 1 million subscribers, and I really enjoy his content. This is my buddy Manuel, and you might recognize him from some of Matthew Beem's latest videos. Matthew even took Manuel to Hawaii to build a snowman on the beach. So when Manuel reached out to me to make Matthew a play button, I couldn't say no.
Now, one of the biggest challenges here is trying to glue the aluminum can to the wood template. Aluminum and wood do not bond well together, and although there's several recommended methods to try, they all kept failing. Therefore, I tried several combinations of CA glue with a mixture of Titebond adhesive and lots of clamping to get this to stay put. After I laid out the cans with a small rectangle portion and used wood glue with lots of clamps to make sure it was all nice and secure, I had to find a way to make the play button gold. The easiest and cheapest option I could find was using this gold vinyl that already had an adhesive backside, which made some quick and easy work, so I went with it. And of course, I had to make the actual play symbol gold as well. Now, I finished this design, but I'm not too happy with it. It doesn't have enough Coca-Cola incorporated for somebody like Matthew Beem, who is absolutely obsessed with the soda. So I did what any rational person would do, and I started all over again. Alright, so this time around, let's just try reversing everything. To keep some gold flair, I will use the gold vinyl as the small rectangular area, and again, lots of clamps and wood glue to secure it all down. Now, while still struggling with attaching the aluminum to the wood and didn't know what to do, I turned to one of the more expensive options, and that's this tube of E6000. And it helped. It still wasn't perfect, but I was definitely happier with it than the results from before. And oh yeah, I needed to cut out more Coke cans once again. Now, this was a lot more challenging, laying out this many more Coke cans and having to fill out all the spaces. I wasn't sure what the best option was to do here, but here's what I did. I took blue painter's tape and laid the sticky side up across the entire wood template. Then, I filled in all the area with my Coke design pieces to cover up every part of the blue tape that was showing. Then, I flipped this over and added blue tape to the other side. Now, I could remove the reverse blue tape and add in the adhesive and smush this completely against my wood template with a bunch of clamps and a few toothpicks, and I'll see if it sticks. And yikes, it stuck, but there's some issues here. I'm guessing some of the properties from the adhesive caused the gold foil to actually crinkle up quite a bit, and then also some of the adhesive leaked over, which caused the blue tape to stick to the cans, but nothing a few touch-ups can't fix. Finally, it's time to wrap this all up and display it in a nice display case. I glued up each of the pieces to a backing to the frames that I had already spray painted black. Then, for a final touch, I used my wife's Cricut to create the obligatory presentation verbiage that YouTubers put on its plaques.
Now it's time to get these over to my buddy Manuel so that he can deliver them to Matthew Beem, and we can see if Matthew ends up liking them.
How am I supposed to do this? Or it could be. Oh! Wow! This looks insane!
Thanks for watching. Peace.